All right, today we are going to start learning about outer space. So our read aloud today is God made outer space. All right. The Bible's first words are, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth." Before creation, all was dark and empty, lonely and quiet. Create means to make. When God created, He made things. He made lots of things to fill the place we call outer space. He scattered stars across space, sparkling up the darkness. God didn't make all stars the same size. That would be too boring. Instead, He made some huge. Others are medium-sized, and some are small. In church or school, you may get stars for doing good work. These stars usually look like this. But God made His stars round. Keep reading and you'll find out why. God made the stars in so many colors: red, orange, yellow, white, blue. The colors come from the heat of the stars because all of the stars are hot. The red and orange stars are hot. Yellow and white stars are even hotter. And the blue stars? Don't even ask. Blue stars are the hottest of them all. God put all the stars into big groups. We call these giant groups of stars galaxies. Some galaxies are shaped like footballs. Others look like pinwheels. God made galaxies in any shape He wanted. God made galaxies throughout the universe. Just one galaxy has more stars in it than you could count in your whole lifetime. Didn't God make lots of stars? The Milky Way is the name of our galaxy. The stars we see at night are part of that galaxy. Milky Way stars are sprinkled across our nighttime sky like sugar on blackberries. As we look at the stars at night, we can see patterns in the sky. These patterns are called constellations. This constellation is called the Big Dipper. This one is named the Little Dipper. There's even a constellation that looks like a man hunting. It's called Orion, the hunter. Can you see his club and shield? Of all the stars God made, there's one we really like. It's the closest to us, and it's called the sun. Compared to other stars, the sun is just medium-sized. It's hot, yellow, round, and bright. The sun is made of hot gases that produce lots of energy. We see the sun's energy as sunlight, and we feel it as heat. Earth seems like a pretty big place to us, but the sun is much, much bigger than the earth. Over 100 Earths could fit side by side across the middle of the sun. If the sun were hollow, it would take 1,000,000 Earths to fill it up. God put the earth at just the right distance from the sun. Not too close, or we would get too hot. Not too far, or we would be too cold. But just right. The earth is called a planet. A planet is a ball of rock or gas or both that travels around a star. We are in a family with 8 other planets. The 9 planets plus the sun make up what we call the solar system. In order from the sun, the 9 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Let's take a closer look. Each planet is so pretty and so different from the others. Little Mercury has craters all over it, but no air around it. Venus, often called the evening star, has thick clouds and very high heat. Earth is beautiful, blue and green. Mars, the red planet, has mountains and dry riverbeds. Distant Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are icy cold planets. Saturn is the planet with the most beautiful rings. Giant Jupiter has bands of clouds and a constant storm called the Great Red Spot. As the largest planet, Jupiter is over 1,000 times bigger than the Earth. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are the largest planets. Each is made of gas. These 4 planets have rings around them. Along with the planets, God made moons. That's what we're going to study today, the moon. Moons are smaller bodies that travel around planets. The moons shine by reflecting light from the sun. Earth has 1 moon. Mars has 2 moons. Saturn has 20 moons. Poor Mercury and Venus have no moons at all. God also created comets. Comets are made of ice and rock. Sometimes they are called dirty snowballs. He made asteroids too. Asteroids are large rocks found between Mars and Jupiter. And he made meteors. Meteors are tiny rock fragments from comets. God sure was busy. God was almost finished creating the universe. With his words, he stirred up space and everything began to spin. The great pinwheel galaxies began to slowly spiral around. All the stars started rotating. Remember how I told you God made the stars round? Round is the perfect shape for spinning. The planets had 2 motions. They began to spin around like tops, and they also traveled around the sun, and moons began to move around the planets. Comets and asteroids started their silent journeys around the sun. The meteors drifted through space. Sometimes they entered the Earth's air, speeding up and heating up. They left quick trails across the night sky, streaks called shooting stars. God made outer space an exciting place. When God finished creating the planets and moons and stars, he looked at all that he had made and he said, do you remember? It is good. You can read more about God's creation in the Bible. Just look up Genesis chapter 1. That's the end.